Here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the biggest week of the year for STIHL Timbersports, the week when we crown champions. Right now, we're going to take a look at the future. 8 qualifiers from around the country are going to compete for the STIHL Timbersports Collegiate Championship. You will be impressed by these competitors. Now, let's get them started with our first discipline, the stock saw.
The STIHL stock saw, 2 competitors going head-to-head with identically tuned MS661 chainsaws. After a 15-second warm-up, all 8 fingers must be crossing that line. On go, with speed, they retrieve the saw. With precision, they enter the saw into the wood, listening to the RPMs, feeling the saw cutting through the wood, severing that first clean disc. Then, the perfect transition, and again, with precision, entering the log for the upcut. Hopefully seeing 2 complete discs on the ground, and of course, this 4-inch line remaining for a leading cut.
Getting ready for heat number 1 of the stock saw. Tommy Sanders, Kevin Holtz with you right here. We've got 8 qualifiers for this championship from around the country. And Kevin, I think they seem to be more sophisticated in the ways of lumberjack sport with every passing year. Multiple decades now for the college involvement in the sport.
Yeah, we're getting serious. Now competitors are seeking out the professional athletes to train with, borrow equipment with, get tips from, travel to competitions with. And as the prize money is there, the incentives are there, the prestige is there, these guys are getting serious about it.
Right there, that's Kyle Whitmore, one of the Black Bears from the University of Maine, and right there from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, Will Kramer.
Will Kramer, this is actually his second year with us here. He finished 4th overall. Had a nice talk with him earlier about his personal aspirations for today.
1, go!
Oh, in trouble already. I got the feeling that's a jump gun on stand number 1. Otherwise, he got every last second out of there. Will Kramer, though, what a run. He is on that saw, getting every last ounce of power he can out of it. It's not going to be enough, though, to fight off Kyle Whitmore. Bit of a jumbled up situation here in this stock saw run.
All right, one more look at this cut right here. And obviously, both guys pretty quick to the wood.
Yeah, Kyle Whitmore saying that that's been one of the things he wants to work on. And he worked on it. He was right there, right on the go. You couldn't get much closer to the go than that.
There's the official time for Kyle Whitmore, your winner of the first heat in the stock saw, 11.591. Will Kramer in second, 12.376.
So after I heard the go, and I grabbed the saw, I was like, that's pretty close, but that was good. That was better than what I thought it was going to be. Just glad I didn't DQ.
Well, coming up in our next heat of the stock saw, Wesley Bodenheimer going up against Darby Hand.
Yeah, Darby's actually our Mid-Atlantic Regional qualifier. He was the official Mid-Atlantic Regional qualifier sporting that blue shirt. You see a lot of blue shirts out here because the Mid-Atlantic posted a really stout field this year. Both these guys synchronized starts up into the wood. It's advantage Bodenheimer on the first cut, and he's going to carry that advantage.
Oh.
Look at that time from Bodenheimer.
With the unofficial time showing that may be a new national record.
Oh, maybe nothing. He just kicked it in the dirt and stomped on it. If that unofficial clock is anywhere close to accurate.
Well, just have to wait on that official time. Here's Dave Jewett with our winner.
Tell the crowd what you just told me about how soft the wood and reacting to it.
Well, as my coach Mike Slingerland taught me consistently, that you gauge the wood in the wood. And so if you run a saw whatsoever, you immediately, as soon as you put it in the wood, you could tell that it was incredibly soft. And I like to weight the saw pretty heavily with my backhand, and I immediately could tell that that was way too much. I dropped the RPM on the saw, I heard it, and just kind of lightened up a little bit, and the saw just did its job. I was just along for the ride.
Well, I got some news for you, my friend. 10.81, smashing the national record. That's your new collegiate national record holder for now, right now in the stock saw.
Well, there you have it, a new U.S. college record in the stock saw at 10.81. Wesley Bodenheimer must be feeling good about the way his day has started. Yet one more heat remaining, and here we go with Colby Benfield going up against Kobe Gutch.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2,
You can't worry about
1,
that 10-8-1.
go.
They got to let the saw do what it can do. Let them drive the saw to the best of their ability. I tell you what, 2 clean cuts though, Tommy. Look at these transitions. These are tight, clean, neat transitions.
Oh, man.
And again, we're down in the upper 10s again. This is disgusting. These college athletes have come to play. This is not messing around time, boys.
Very, very close. A very, very tight race right there. Kobe Gutsch wins the heat and becomes the fourth of our 8 competitors to break the previous college national record in stock saw here. Wesley Bodenheimer leading the way, his 10.81, the top time in stock saw. Got 3 more disciplines left to go for these 8 college qualifiers from around the country looking for our 1 national champion. We are on our way in Milwaukee, and we're going to take ourselves a quick break and be right back.
10.81, smashing the national record.
STIHL Timbersports on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by STIHL, maker of a full line of gasoline and battery-powered handheld outdoor power equipment. Find yours at STIHLUSA.com. By Duluth Trading Company, the official workwear sponsor of STIHL Timbersports. And by John Deere, nothing runs like a deer.
Welcome back to Milwaukee, Wisconsin for the 2019 STIHL Timbersports U.S. Championships here as part of German Fest in this beautiful downtown park right on the lakefront. What a great host city Milwaukee has been. German Fest Festival brings out great crowds for our national championships. We are currently 1 event in for a 2019 Collegiate National Championship, and there are your overall points with Wesley Bodenheimer in the lead after a new U.S. record in the stock saw. Right behind him are Kobe Gutsch and Darby Hand. We will continue our search for the top college lumberjack in the U.S. with our next discipline, the standing block chop. For more on the standing block, here's Dave Jewett.
Athlete versus tree. Their goal, sever a 12-inch log. This is a standing block. The standing block mimics felling a tree with a racing axe as fast as possible. When the gun fires, you have to chop halfway through the log. In order to do that, know the log, be familiar with your equipment. The best athletes will put 10 to 12 hits in the front. The elite athlete will put 6 to 7 hits in the front. The turn is a 4-step motion with speed, minding the chips on the ground which you've removed. Run to the back side with no hesitation. Open up the backs with confidence, making a split decision. Do I take another chip for safety, or do I have the confidence to drive this log off?
There's our 2 competitors getting ready to go in the first heat of the standing block chop. Will Kramer from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Justin Hardcastle from the University of New Hampshire.
3, 2, 1, go!
Well, I'm curious here. I've given Will Kramer, the big nod. It's his 2nd year on this stage. I thought we'd see a better run from him in the stock saw. And not that he had a bad run, but wow, were these kids just flying in that stock saw. This standing block tends to be the Achilles heel for a lot of these competitors. And there it is. I was just going to say, because Will Kramer is a 2nd-year athlete on this stage, he knows the importance of this discipline along with the other 3. Go back and take a look at this run here from Will Kramer. Boy, he was dangerously close to dog-legging that thing. Just lined those hits up. Lucky run there from Will Kramer at the very end.
1906 for Will Kramer. Justin Hardcastle having a hard time with that one right there. Justin had a little trouble in the first one too, so he's going to have to put on a mammoth charge.
I mean, the last two times I've come in 2nd place, and it was because of what I did. It wasn't because of what someone else did. I think if I go out there and I do my thing and I play my game and do before events the way I can do them, then it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to lose.
Again, we had such a strong showing in the Mid-Atlantic region. We pulled 2 wild cards out of that region. You get to see them run head-to-head here.
Andrew Sargent had some trouble with the stock saw. First discipline of the day. Wesley Bodenheimer. Great job on the stock saw.
3, 2, 1, go!
Couple small hang-ups for Wesley on the front side of that log. Oh, Andrew Sargent is around really quick. There's a lot of cuttable wood in the front side of that log. I don't know if he's gonna just try to break it off. Oh, and he does. And you know what? Wesley Bodenheimer, though, yeah, he didn't win that heat, but he's got a good time too. Andrew Sargent, just brute force and determination. The front side of this, sorry Andrew, that's a hot mess, buddy. The front side of that block is just a disaster, and I think he ran away from it, just got out of there. goes into the back and starts driving. He drives far, doesn't get what he wants, takes it one more near where he did have a hole kind of bored into the front side of it, then goes back to the far and tears off that uncut wood that's just hanging out there saying, please chop me.
You had a tough run in the stock saw, but you just came to the party, brought the spurs to that standing block.
Yeah, that was a sloppy cut, but good wood, and it come off quicker than I thought it would.
All right, big single buck cut coming up next. We'll keep an eye on this guy right here, Andrew Sargent.
There's Andrew's official time, a 17.63, handily taking the top spot in the standing block. Will Kramer put down a good cut as well. Ditto Kobe Gooch. And we got two more disciplines on the way here in our STIHL Timbersports Collegiate National Championship. We'll be back in Milwaukee in just a moment. This is the STIHL Timbersports National Championship. Welcome back to Milwaukee. Ready to put saws in hand again. And our third discipline of the day, the single buck. Overall points right there. As you saw for just a moment there, Wesley Bodenheimer tied in the lead with Kobe Gooch. To tell us more about the next event, here's Dave Jewett with the Duluth Trading Company Discipline Review.
It's a 6 to 6.5 foot saw. It's a science to make these saws. It's a science to run these saws. On go, you want to go full speed on a push or a pull stroke using the entire saw. It's a 2 to 3 peg and raker. The pegs are the teeth. They cut the wood. The rakers clean the wood. You want to use the full saw, cutting on the forward stroke, cutting on the back stroke, using every muscle in your body from your toes all the way up to your head, driving the saw with confidence through the entire log. If you deviate from your technique, you can dive a raker into the wood, bringing you to a sudden stop. Then you have to regain that momentum, losing time.
It's Will Kramer from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, winner of all the disciplines in Western Qualifier. There's Colby Benfield.
Speaking of West Coast guys, he's also getting some help from another guy you may have heard of. Walt Page is out there running the wage. So a bit of a star-studded run, and look at...
Oh, no. Got to cut that one off, okay.
I was gonna say, look at Will Kramer go, and Will Kramer was on the go. He was gone. So you can see the struggle just to keep that saw balanced in that curve as he finishes that cut.
There's Will Kramer's official time, a 12.90. Not too bad right there. Colby Benfield struggling a little bit through that single buck cut.
Very, very curious to watch this heat. Stand number 1, Wesley Bodenheimer. Mike Slingerland out there on the stage. Mercier racing saw queued up, ready to go.
Kobe Gooch getting a lot of love from the crowd here, the Wisconsin native.
3, 2, 1, go!
Kobe a little bit hesitant on that start, but man, is he running that whole saw. The tip of that saw almost is coming out the backside. Wesley, though, is bragging behind. Look at that. There was nothing left to run on that saw from Kobe Gooch.
Got Kobe Gooch here. Kobe looked like right off the top. We always talk about the first 2 strokes. You just pulled the full length of the saw. That's confidence.
Yeah, it's a short saw, too, so I know I can run it full right off the top, and it worked.
12.29 just came in. There's your new leader right there. Big round of applause.
Kobe Gooch came into this one tied for the lead. STIHL Timbersports Championship overall points. Certainly helped his situation right there, taking over the lead. All right, Justin Hardcastle in the foreground right there, going up against Andrew Sargent. 2 big men taking on the single buck competition. Justin Hardcastle, no experience in this till he hit college. Learned about it at a club fair the day he started school.
Yeah, he's been working with Billy Cornelius. You see Billy out there giving him a little advice, some pointers as well. Andrew Sargent, though, just attacking this single buck like he attacked that standing block. Just raw horsepower, flat out attempting to destroy that block of wood. It's another look at it. You see, again, things we can certainly do to clean up the technique, but he is just applying raw horsepower and shredding that single buck.
Well, I'm laughing because I'm trying to get a smile out of this big guy. He's flirting with a national record, and you said, I could have used more saw.
Yeah, I got a bad problem getting too tight and short stroking the saw instead of using all the teeth. And, you know, I can run it decently fast, you know, moving back and forth. But I think if I got a little bit more fluid, if I worked on it a little bit more, I might be able to use more saw and, you know, cut more wood as you're going through the log.
I got some numbers for you, my friend. 9.59 seconds. Your single buck winner.
A ridiculous time from Andrew Sargent. Sub 10 seconds.
Taking top spot in the field in the single buck. The third discipline of the day is Andrew Sargent. Justin Hardcastle in second place with 11.86. The Wisconsin boy, Kobe Gutsch, 12.29. One more discipline on the way. We'll be right back.
STIHL Timbersports on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by STIHL, maker of a full line of gasoline and battery-powered handheld outdoor power equipment. Find yours at STIHLUSA.com. By Duluth Trading Company, the official workwear sponsor of STIHL Timbersports. And by John Deere, nothing runs like a deer.
STIHL Timbersports Collegiate National Championship. Boy, we've got some great competition going on. There's your STIHL Timbersports overall championship points. And Andrew Sargent, after a slow start to the day, has come back to tie for first place with Kobe Gutsch. All right, Underhand Chop will decide it all. Here's Dave Jewett to tell us all about the Underhand Chop.
They will chop the front half of the log using their $700 axe. After they cut the front half of the log, the transition to the back is seamless. In less than 1 second, the axe is into the back side of the log. A 2-and-2 pattern, removing the chips. Then when you get close to the center, you have to be confident. Using precision, accuracy, power, you will drive the log off. Seems dangerous, right? It's actually one of the safest events. And yes, they are wearing a chainmail sock protection underneath their shoe.
Athletes ready.
We're about to get
Stand
underway.
to your
Will
timber.
Kramer on the left,
3,
Kyle Whitmore
2,
on the right.
1, go!
I'll tell you what, I don't know who's coaching Kyle Whitmore because he claims he doesn't have a coach, but he has got form. He has got technique, and that's going to carry him far in this sport. Good on him, on you, Kyle Whitmore. Keep it up, buddy. Take a look over on stand number 1. Will Kramer, our returning competitor from California. 4th overall last year. He wants to be on top of the heap this year. He's looking to drive middle, bottom. There it goes. Bit of a hang-up for Whitmore. He is upset with that time. I know he's got more in the tank. I know that time can come down.
There's Will's official time, 24.62. Will was 3rd place in overall points coming into this final discipline, so we will see Kobe Gutsch on the right. Benfield on the left. For Kobe Gutsch, this is very, very important right here. He's one of our co-leaders in total points coming into this.
Your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Tied with Andrew Sargent, and you know Sargent's going to get up there and try to just annihilate this block. Gutsch coming at it with just a little more finesse, a little more technique, not a lot of swing speed, but I think he's getting it done cleanly. Let's have a look here as he turns to the far side. 2-and-2. He's starting to pick up his pace a little bit. I think he's realizing he's got some go. He's got some block there. Looking to drive. Is it premature? It's not premature.
Oh, yeah.
Cody Gutsch is off. It's hard to see on his opening side what's going on. You can see the pile of chips there. Opens his backside very cleanly. I wonder if the front side of that log was just a little on the stiff side, got into some better stuff in the backside, and just started moving chips.
Take a look. There's his time. Well, he can't do better than that. He took over first place, not by a lot. But hey, first place, that's top points for now. This championship has got his attention, and he's got everyone's attention here in Milwaukee. And especially this guy right here coming up in the next heat, Andrew Sargent. He's had a rough start to the day, but he has roared back and is now tied for the lead. If Andrew beats Kobe's time, he'll be our champion.
Athletes ready.
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical right now, Tommy. Watching Andrew Sargent out there, I'm watching him rock back and forth. I can see the expression on his face. I think he's a little too tense. I hope he can settle in, cut this block smart, not just rip it apart. It already looks like a cleaner cut than his standing block. 1-and-1. He's putting a couple extra drivers in there. Around to the backside. Time is ticking away on Andrew Sargent. He's driving now.
Oh, he may have done it. He may have done it. Going to be very, very close. So if the unofficial time holds up, Andrew Sargent will be your 2019 Steel Timber Sports Collegiate Champion.
Once I saw him start swinging, I felt better about this whole scene. I was worried he was going to come into this underhand and just go absolutely ballistic on it. So that was a calm, cool Andrew Sargent. Good job.
Good job indeed. Andrew Sargent will come out on top of the underhand and on top of the overall steel points. That will make him your 2019 Steel Timber Sports Collegiate Champion. And with that, he receives a John Deere scholarship, a prize pack from Duluth Trading Company. Here's your champion with Dave Jewett.
And Andrew, 4 years you've been fighting to get this title. Were you thinking about that title going into the underhand and you just said, hey, look, I needed that bottom hit. If it didn't come, it wasn't going to happen?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is my 4th year. The last 2 years, I've made mental mistakes. It just didn't work out for me. But going into this, you can't help but think, man, I got a shot. It's got to be my time. I got to do it right now. So that back on the back, I turned around. Maybe should have went a little farther in the front, but it paid off. I had some slope. The block, it broke. So if it didn't break right there, then we'd have been in a different situation.
There you go. A very modest competitor. Give him a round of applause, Andrew Sargent.
Andrew Sargent, a man with 27 points to take the Steel Timber Sports Collegiate Championship for 2019. Congrats also to Kobe Gutsch, 25 points in second place. Will Kramer, congrats to all these guys for working hard through the season for their colleges to make it to this championship. And once again, hats off to our champ, Andrew Sargent.
All right, let's hear it one more time, ladies and gentlemen, for these collegiate athletes. You'll see them in the professional ranks. One more time, give it up.